Hey there, it's Clayton Luce with Gonzo Today. To all of you fans, friends, family, it's a pleasure to finally speak to everyone. But this is actually going to be addressed, and I apologize, I'm in my shed today. I got sick kids at home, so I'm out here where I can have a little bit of peace and quiet. But anyway, this is addressed primarily to, well, first and foremost, to Anita Thompson, the Gonzo Foundation, and everyone else on both sides of this Gonzo Today fence that is aware of certain letters and postings on Facebook and social media regarding a release recently of some previously undisclosed, at least in this form, faxes and photographs of Hunter Thompson. So I'm gonna give you my personal commentary on this matter, or opinion, really. We founded Gonzo Today about 6 months ago now. It started as an idea on a Facebook group. It was an idea after having spent the last 6 or 7 years perusing the internet whenever my interest peaked and looking for something new and fresh, Gonzo-wise, Hunter Thompson-wise, Ralph Steadman. There were a few sites out there and a few things going on, but they're just, there's nothing new. So it was something that we put together, we started, and it grew. A lot of people got on board. We've had our ups and our downs, but to date, in the end, our numbers are growing rapidly. We have a lot of cool people on board, good people, people both with long histories personally with Hunter Thompson and Ralph Steadman and all of the other big names in Gonzo. But as well as just countless artists, photographers, writers, of every brand and genre. And all these people have come together under this Gonzo Today banner, if you will. And I think maybe it's time, just because of recent events, that we make a formal introduction. This is not the first attempt I've made. I, from day one, have attempted to correspond with Anita, open and honest, just completely 100% what I wanted to do, what we were going to do, what we would like her to be a part of, and I've just never received responses. Shortly after I started getting these trademark notices and warnings, which is fine, but everything, I've sent letters with wax seals, everything I could to, make sure that we made contact and that, I introduced myself, and that was all ignored. So, pardon recent events, but we did our very best to bring Owl Farm and the Gonzo Foundation into the Gonzo Today community. So, going back to this release of documents, and I'm not going to go into specifics. We all know who the letter was directed towards, but in regards to this letter, several false allegations were made, which I do need to address for the sake of those involved. I'm not sure exactly where Ms. Thompson received her information, but there were a number of false statements made. And the main one that I want to hit up is the fact that these documents, consisting of faxes and photographs and some signed copies of books, belong to Kevin Samonson, who was a friend of Hunter and a longtime chronicler of Hunter's life, wrote stories for big magazines, and is well connected within the Gonzo community throughout history. These were his personal documents sent to him by Hunter Thompson, by Ralph Steadman, as well as photos that he himself took. This was his property, his copyright, as well as things that Hunter sent to him as personal correspondence for his own sake. It was his. So any allegation that Gonzo Today sent a bunch of ninjas through the roof of Owl Farm to steal away top secret classified archives is absolutely false, or the concept that we stole anything, or that we made any connection whatsoever or attribution whatsoever to Owl Farm or Gonzo Fest or Anita Thompson is absolutely bogus. So that should be out in the air. You know, there were a lot of other things in there, little swipes, but we're not going to waste time doing that. I will follow that up, though, with saying that Gonzo Today is Gonzo journalism today. We're not just the website GonzoToday.com, and we're not just a Facebook group, and we're not just any of these things that we operate through. Gonzo Today is a collective of all who are interested, of the Gonzo artists, those inspired by Hunter Thompson, inspired by Ernest Hemingway, inspired by Jack Kerouac, inspired by Ralph Steadman, Ron Whitehead, the list goes on. These are the people, these are the children of literature. These are the children of that generation, and these are the children of the generations before, just as Hunter Thompson was the child of his previous generation of literary heroes. And I will stand till the court or the bitter end to represent and to uphold that literary right and that title, because Gonzo journalism and Gonzo as a concept was more than just Hunter Thompson, more than just Ralph Steadman, and more than just any of its individual parts. And today, Hunter Thompson is dead. Ralph Steadman is still alive. There is an old and there is a new generation of Gonzo, both coexisting right now. And on our end, for the most part, we've been greeted very warmly. I mean, just an incredible wellspring of creativity, collaboration. I mean, Hunter Thompson and Ralph Steadman and the others are heroes to us. I mean, these are people that shaped our childhoods, in many cases, in our young adulthood, and till who we are today. And then for others, these are friends. These are people that had a lifelong respect and admiration for Hunter Thompson, that admired him, that knew him, that spoke with him, and who feel that he had a vision that is not being realized currently. And that is where Gonzo Today, as a collective, as a community, not as an individual, not as a board of directors, not as a certain type of nonprofit, not as anything. We are a collective of people working together to create a whole new generation of Gonzo, of people that don't conform to political pressures and social ideologies that pressure journalists and artists and everything else into these cookie-cutter images of what Obama or Bush or anyone else thinks it should be for that given period of time. Gonzo journalism is about freedom. And freedom is something that we lack in journalism, in photography, in media, in every aspect of American life. Gonzo Today is the most important thing that we as a young generation can grasp as a concept. The idea that we do not have to conform to anything, but that we act in love, that we do what is good ultimately, and that we say fuck you to anyone else who says otherwise. And I think Hunter Thompson embodied that. He was a sinner and a saint. And so are we. We are the outlaw fringe. There are few among us who could claim otherwise, and we are many at this point. And we love Gonzo journalism, and we will not let it go. So as a final note to Anita and to Owl Farm and the Gonzo Foundation, we respect you, we love you, and we absolutely will respect your bounds for what is yours in terms of copyrights, in terms of your trust and estate. But outside of what you have legal power and authority over, we are going to live out Hunter Thompson's dream, and we're going to make it a reality with or without you. And we would hope that it is with you. Our hands remain outreached to both you and everyone in the Gonzo community. We're all about doing your own thing. I mean, start your blogs and starting websites, networking them together to create a Gonzo force. That is what Gonzo Today is. And that is why it will not go away. So with the threats and the little things about legal action, if you're going to do it, do it. Enough with the threats. We're well aware of what is coming. So I would say that we're prepared and eagerly hoping that it doesn't come to that, because as Ron Whitehead wrote yesterday, one Gonzo spirit, and that is what we stand for, one Gonzo spirit. This division is not from Gonzo Today. We have nothing against Anita Thompson, the Gonzo Foundation, or Leah Janke, or the Gonzo Journalism and Legacy of Hunter Thompson Facebook group. All of these power struggles have grown out of money and greed. Gonzo Today is a non-profit, 100% non-profit, volunteer-driven organization. We are trying to create the ability for profits on individual artists to basically promote their websites and their art, but that's separate. Gonzo Today is not in it for money or prestige, and as such we don't contend in that field. So when you see in the future threats being made, keep in mind who is operating in the field of money and who is not. Have a good day. I'm Clayton, Luce, Editor-in-Chief, Gonzo Today.